everybody, I have missed you all so much. I was on vacation one Sunday and then I got sick and Chris got sick, so we had to miss last Sunday. I'm so thankful that Miss Amy was able to teach our class for Sunday school, but now we're not going to be able to be at church for a couple weeks, and so I thought I need to do a lesson for the kids. And I thought, what should this lesson be about? And God told me, Terry, you need to talk about fear to these kids. We've all been afraid of things, and there's a lot of people that are afraid of a lot of different things right now. Some things people are afraid of are spiders and snakes. Some people are afraid of the dark. Carter was afraid of clowns when he was little. Yeah, he was terrified of clowns, or actually anything in a costume. So lots of people are afraid of a lot of different things. Did you know that in the Bible, the disciples of Jesus were afraid sometimes too? Remember, the disciples were the 12 guys that Jesus picked to follow him at the very beginning. So I'm going to read you a story about them today, and it's out of the book of Mark. Remember, Mark is one of the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, the first 4 books in the New Testament. And we're going to go to Mark chapter 4, so that's the big 4 and the little 35. It says, as evening came, Jesus said to his disciples, let's cross to the other side of the lake. So they took Jesus in a boat and they started out, leaving the crowds behind. But soon a fierce storm came up. The high waves were breaking into the boat and it began to fill with water. Jesus was sleeping in the back of the boat with his head on a cushion. The disciples woke him up and they were shouting, Teacher, don't you care that we're about to die? We're going to drown. When Jesus woke up, he rebuked the wind. He scolded it. He told it, he got very ill with it, and he told it, he said to the wind and the waves, silence, be still. And suddenly the wind stopped and the waves were calm. Then he asked the disciples, why are you afraid? Do you still have no faith? The disciples were absolutely terrified. They were scared to death. Who is this man? They asked each other. Even the wind and the seas obey him. Wow. Was Jesus afraid of that storm? No, he wasn't afraid. He was asleep. He had his head on a cushion. He was sleeping good. Do you think the disciples were afraid? Yes, they were very afraid. They thought that they were going to drown, and they didn't believe that Jesus could save them. The disciples were scared, but they didn't need to be. Why not? Because they had Jesus right there in the boat with them. He's bigger and stronger than everything, even the storms, the wind, and the waves. When he told them to be still, they did it. It didn't happen a few hours later. It happened right then. And you know what? We don't need to be afraid either. Why? Because we have Jesus and God with us every day. Did you know that fear not or do not be afraid is the most repeated command in the Bible? Some say that it's in 365 verses in the Bible to not fear and not be afraid. That's one verse for every day of the year. Wow, if it's that important, I think we need to remember it too. I'm going to read one of those verses. If you have your Bible with me, turn and read it with me. It's in the book of Isaiah. Isaiah is a prophet, and he has a book in the Old Testament. It's in the book of Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. It says, "Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, and I will help you, and I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." Wow, that's one of my favorite verses in the Bible. Just as Jesus used his power over the wind and the waves to calm the fears of his disciples, God promises to use his power to calm our fears and to give us strength. So the next time you see or you hear a thunderstorm, think about this Bible story and this Bible verse. Think about Jesus calming the storm and about God's power. Remember that not only is he stronger than the storms, but he's more powerful than anything we will ever face, anything we could ever be afraid of. So we don't need to be afraid. We have God on our side. So don't forget that. I want you to think about it and see if you can find some more verses in the Bible. The older kids, see if you can find some more verses that talk about that you shouldn't be afraid and to not fear. And have your mom or dad send them to me. That'll help me, and it'll help you, and it'll help your parents too, because we all need to be reminded sometimes that we don't need to be afraid, that we don't need to be scared. And you younger kids, draw a picture of something that you're afraid of, and then beside of it, draw a big heart and write the word God, G-O-D. You know why you would write that? Because God is bigger than any of your fears, and he loves you, and he lives in your heart and wants to take care of you all the time, so you don't need to be afraid. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week. I'm going to miss getting to see you, but I hope we all stay safe and get to see each other again soon. I love you very much. Bye-bye.